and welcome to another edition of a Parson's Progress. I'm on my veranda and I'm going to do a bit more potting out of seeds. You'll know that I've planted my tobacco harvest, crop, keep saying harvest, mean crop, and some lettuce, boring, just two lots really, 2 crops. So I need to get some more stuff out. What have I got? Well, today I'm going to be doing some of those bigger tomatoes, not the boring tomatoes. So I'm going to get a bit of that stuff out. And, well, only 3 extra things today. I've got some French beans. Not particularly old packet, should be working still. These are going to be fun, aren't they? P. Alderman, 360 Cs. Well, there's not that many left now. Anyway, they're going to go in. So, principally, that's what I'm going to do. I've got these pots here. Can you see them? I'm going to do a couple more. These are going to be larger, I think. I don't care. I've got so many of these beautiful terracotta pots. Look at them. Gorgeous vintage pots. Splendid. I've got one already in that. I'm using up this. I've got those big compost bags, but I'm going to use these up. What's interesting about compost is you put it in and it sort of just collapses. I'm going to wet them first, of course. I think the other day when I put my tobacco in, it was too dry. And I want to use this stuff up. And it gives it certainly plenty of room to grow anyway. I'll get established. I love these pots. Glorious, aren't they? Right, that should do. I've got this little lot here. I'll maybe do one more. Maybe not. No, because I need to leave some of this stuff for. Anyway, so here are my. You're loving this, aren't you? I mean, this is so educational. You're loving it, aren't you? And there's nothing like a Zen squirt. I mentioned that yesterday. Here we go. This bit I love. I mean, look how many calories I'm burning up with this workout. Look at that. I like sort of pulling the trigger. I suppose it goes back to my army days. Life is lovely on the hill. Although it's not that lovely today, and I'm going to explain why shortly. Right, let's get these in. Right, let's get some peas in. Oh, I say. Okay, this lot can go in. I'll just give them a bit of a cover. Don't know what I'm doing. Haven't read any books. Don't care. We'll just have to see what happens. I'll no doubt get told off and have to do some sort of rescue mission now. Get a few more of them in maybe. Oh no, I think the tomatoes would look... No, a couple more of these in here. Oh, he says. Well, let's just get them in. See what happens. Gardeners will be probably shouting at their screens saying, you're not supposed to do it like that. Well, you don't know, I might have green fingers. You're not supposed to do it like that. There we go. That's those in, isn't it? What did that leave? These don't look like maybe they had. I'm going to be a bit more careful with these. I'm being a bit sort of generous, am I not? There doesn't seem to be very much in the way of seeds there. I might have to use the lot up. Does anything even come out? They're tiny. If those are seeds at all. They're like my tobacco seeds. Those were absolutely tiny too. I'm not going to I'm only just going to leave those ones on the top, I think, for now. Give them a squirt tomorrow. Right, that's all done. Did I put any in those? I can't remember. I don't think I did. We'll leave those. Put those 3 into the greenhouse. Did. Now, yeah, what I'll do is I think I'll just pour myself a drink and sit down and get my pipe stoked up, and I'm going to talk to you today about disappointment. See you in a moment. Blessed is the man who expecteth nothing, for verily he shall not be disappointed. Thus spake the psalmist. Well, he didn't actually. Smoking me fireside church warden, sat on the floor. I had a bit of a disappointment today. Today I was supposed to regale you with wonderful footage of Sam the Digger Man. But no, the calipers on his brakes have gone, so he couldn't come. He was coming from Bridgnorth. So I'm taking solace in a drop of 10-year-old Talisker, which is rather good. And well, you saw that I did a bit of seeding and did a little bit of work on the land. I've jacked up that Paul who did the chip work to come and do some logging. I've got about 500 tons of logs behind the house that's fallen into a gully. And that all needs to be processed. So at least that was jacked up. And I've ordered various bits and bobs. I've ordered some hurdling for the back perimeter fence. For a little bit of extra privacy, really. And some stake posts will have to be acquired from Craven Arms, along with one of those great big rammers. One of those stake rammers that weigh a ton. Get those in, get some wire the hurdles to the stakes, and job's a good one. But yes, it was disappointing when Sam didn't turn up. I'm always fretful when I've got people coming the next day. Are you? So I don't always sleep that well if I know I've got to be up early and somebody's coming. So I had a bit of a fitful night's sleep. Got up early, raced out here to get my prayers done before Sam the Digger Man arrived, which he didn't arrive. I was able to get my meditation in anyway. But nevertheless, it was. It's always disappointing when people let you down like that. I don't suppose it was his fault. These things happen. I had something that was supposed to arrive yesterday, and the Royal Mail said that they couldn't deliver it, or it's undeliverable. And they delivered it today, and that didn't fit. What else? Oh yeah, there was something else I bought. Some sort of Bluetooth thing for when I'm in bed. I can probably put my masking sounds on for my tinnitus to help me sleep, because it's been pretty bad since the chipper. And I'm sure it'll go back to normal levels, but it's making sleep a bit difficult. And so it was a trying night and a trying morning, and I suppose there was various degrees of disappointment. None of them huge on the scale of disappointments. That came. That was this thing here. It's wonderful. It's called Terry's Hedgehog or something. It's a reamer. All my reamers are in my ruddy container. Oh, this one's too big to ream. Will it go in that one? No, I'm not gonna. It's perfect for my other ones. This doesn't really need reaming. I mean, they're all different sizes, these reamers. But this, I did this on my Gandalf pipe earlier. Perfect. And my bigger bowled ones would be fine. I've got a Dunhill one somewhere knocking around. I'm sure I saw it in the caravan, but I haven't got a clue where it is. But yeah, you have to ream. You have to decoke your pipes every so often. And, well, anyway. So that was all rather disappointing. So all my plans for today just didn't happen. And so what you do is, when you have plans like that, you make alternative plans, don't you? And you try to make what is left of the day profitable. Because you sort of gear yourself up. I mean, this was big landscaping work, so I was all excited about it, really. And now I don't even know when he's coming. And or whether he'll get his thing fixed or... But then, as I said to you the other day, it's not a race. I'm in no rush to finish this project. It'll all happen in the right time. It'll all unravel as it's meant to. Is that the word, unravel? Smoking a bit of that Robert O'Connell Scottish Flake. I'm enjoying it. It was a recommendation. I can't remember his name. Anyway, it's going in the Churchwarden. It's only a small Churchwarden, this. But, you know, it's a very pleasant smoke. It must be good quality briar, I think. So, let's see how we get on with that. Lovely sort of dark Cavendish and bright Virginias in the tobacco. It's like the black and white minstrel show. Ah, there we are. But yes, it was a disappointing start to the day. No, I think I've just made a mistake. I've filled the pipe with the wrong stuff. I've actually filled it with me Peterson's Deluxe. Not the end of the world. What I should have been filling it with is what's in here. Well, I'm talking so much, I've got confused because, of course, it's a flake. Lovely stuff. Anyway, too late now. I ain't taking it out. So, yeah, disappointing start to the day. But then I was musing on the whole fact of life and when it gets disappointing. And inevitably life is full of disappointments, isn't it? And I thought, as men and women, boys and girls, spiritual and unspiritual as we are, how do we handle disappointment? One thing's for clear, to be sure. And that is that you can't avoid disappointment in life. You can't go through life without disappointment. And there are 4 things we're always hoping for, aren't we? Every day we wake up. And that is praise, gain, pleasure, and happiness. Those are the sort of things we look for, don't we, when we get up in the morning? Think about it. Love to be praised. We like to gain things, don't we? Promotions, acquisitions, relationships. We like pleasure. We try to have that, don't we, in our daily life? And then therefore we like to be happy, too. Of course, happiness is very difficult, isn't it? You can't actually look for happiness. Because happiness, as you all know, is a byproduct of all those other things, generally. You can't seek happiness. Because happiness isn't a commodity. It's not something you can just go out and buy. Pleasure's different. You can go out and get pleasure. You can get pleasure from eating. You can go shopping. Sorry about this. It's every time I do a video. Talking about shopping, I have bought a pipe Zippo. People keep saying, get a Zippo. This is a nightmare. And you can't always see the flame, so you end up burning yourself. So, yes, shopping is a form of pleasure. And I'll no doubt have pleasure when my Zippo arrives, my brass Zippo. I think it's a brass one. With the you know, the gassy thing that goes in, whatever it is. And it has the opening for a pipe, I think, so rather than just the regular one for a Zippo. So when you get up in the morning, you're looking for praise, perhaps on Facebook, perhaps on Instagram, perhaps from your partner, perhaps from your boss, perhaps from nice comments on YouTube, which I'm very glad to receive, thank you very much. Yeah, praise. You try to gain things, as I've said, and you're looking for pleasure, and overall you're looking for happiness. Now the problem, of course, comes is that all of these come with their terrible twins, and you can't have one without the other when it comes to a terrible twin. And those terrible twins are gain and loss, praise and blame, pleasure and pain. Well, I'm almost going into a poem. And happiness and unhappiness. All of them come with their terrible twins, you see. And in many ways, if you think about it, you can't really calibrate your praise unless you've understood something of criticism, blame. And you cannot calibrate or measure your pain unless you experience pleasure, and vice versa. And similarly, the happiness we experience sometimes is merely the absence of unhappiness, misery. And there are many things that can make us miserable. And obviously the terrible twin of gain is loss. I know I'm speaking to people who will know about loss. They all have the other side, don't they, of the coin? The terrible twin. And I was thinking about that today. I thought, oh dear, it's going to be one of those days. Where does that expression come from? Is it America, where they say, Mama said there would be days like this. And there are days like that. And some of them, you know, the minute you get out of bed, you think it's got to be one of those days. Now, it's very easy to react to disappointment by, you know, flying off the handle, being tetchy, irritated. You can lose your spiritual peace too. One of the things I've noticed, though, about the harmony and peace that's induced by morning meditation is that, of course, it is commuted into the day. And so when disappointment, and it invariably will come, when it does come, you treat it with a certain amount of equanimity, as the imposter it is. You know, your disappointments are going to come and go. Your gains and losses are going to come and go. Pain's going to arrive, pain's going to go. Pleasure arrives, pleasure goes. Sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're less happy. But once you accept the fundamental premise that all these things are fluid, and I talked about fluidity the other day, didn't I, on the hill up there, in front of the house. You become less disturbed by them. You almost expect them. It's just part of life. Because can you imagine a world where you only had praise, you only had gains, you only had pleasure, and you only had happiness? Can you imagine what a lot of spoiled individuals we'd all be? It wouldn't be character forming, would it? And we know that, don't we? We know some people who are spoilt or super rich. And they can be quite unbearable, some of them. They haven't been tempered by suffering, perhaps as much. Maybe they have. Just thought I heard a glider. They're very quiet, but you can still hear them going. There's a glider club at the top of the hill. It's lovely to see them come along. There was a micro, one of those, what do they call a micro glider? It fell in that field last year and came up our track. Anyway, that's all I really wanted to share today. I haven't got much. I'm very, very tired. I didn't sleep at all really much last night. Various disappointments. But I think in the face of them I've been reasonably phlegmatic. It's the end of the day now. I planted some seeds. Done a little work on the house. Nothing to write home about. Put a window in. Well, temporary window. Perspex. Into the kitchen, let a bit of light in. Because it's remarkable how much light has come in through the sitting room. There's 3 windows there. Once the Perspex went in. Can't be obviously bothered to put in proper glass at this stage. Just temporary really, but it makes a difference. It warms the house up. Gets rid of all the moisture. There's very little moisture in there now. It's marvellous really. But so, yeah, that's my day for today. I'm finishing it off with well, I'm on the Peterson's Deluxe. I was supposed to have been on the Robert McConnell Scottish Flake. Oh, well, I can have one in a bit. Oh, wow, powerful stuff. I think the alcoholic volume of that is significantly higher than your normal whiskies. I think it's about 48%. Good stuff. So yes, if you are suffering, if you're getting a bit of criticism, if you're having to experience loss, if you're not feeling very happy today, if there isn't much pleasure to be had in your life as it is experienced presently, do realise that you're not alone. That's the first thing. Secondly, there is hope, because all these things are impermanent. Everything will pass. I forget who said, and this too shall pass. It wasn't from the Bible, and it wasn't, I don't think, even a Christian. And these too shall pass. I can't remember quite how it goes. You might say in the comments. I can't remember who said it even. But it just moves into that area which I spoke about impermanence, state of fluidity. Every day, it's like this, isn't it? Pain, gain, happiness, unhappiness, happiness, gain, disappointment, praise, blame. It's just a constant rhythm. And if you're prepared to acknowledge that, in other words, I demand pleasure, I demand praise, I demand happiness, I demand pleasure, you ain't going to get it, no matter who you are. I don't care who you are, how much money you've got, what status you have, how many royal titles you may have. You're not going to get it, chum. So there is a sort of equanimity in that. We're all in the same boat together. And I don't know if that's inspired you at all, but it certainly inspired me today. I was able to make a prayer of the disappointment, analyse it, see how I stood in relationship to it. And suddenly I just realised, none of it really matters. As I spoke about the fundamental essence and soul yesterday, none of that is none of that is moved. The essence is still there, the peace is still there, your life is still there. The present moment is still there to be enjoyed. These are just little passing, aren't they, disturbances on the water. And like a river, like the leaves on a river, they just float on by, let them go. They'll go eventually. And what is left is then the peace that I always talk about, because that's what really is a pearl of great price. It's almost better than happiness. Happiness is always a byproduct of something. But peace is the, if you can go to bed in peace, wake up in peace, and experience peace generally in life, in your relationships, and with your maker, make peace with your creator. That's a good way to live. And on that note, I'm going to crack on. I don't think I can say anything more useful today, other than it's been nice to chat to you again. And I'll see you tomorrow. And God bless you this evening and wherever you are. All the best.